Hi everyone, my name is Sonam Bajwa. I am the solid waste planner for the Regional District of Nanaimo. Thank you for taking the time to review this recorded webinar and to learn more about an important change coming for solid waste management in our region. Before we dive in, I want to acknowledge with respect that for thousands of years, the Coast Salish First Nations have been deeply connected to the land where we now have the honor to work and play. And with that, we'll get into the topic at hand. Mandatory waste source separation, our introductory presentation. First, what is mandatory waste source separation? It's a new bylaw that the RDN will be implementing that will require commercial, institutional, industrial, and multifamily units to have organics and recycling diversion in place. We already have something similar in our single-family homes throughout the RDN, where residents are required to separate recycling and organics from their garbage. The mandatory waste source separation bylaw will extend that requirement to all properties in the region. So this means everything from restaurants to hotels, schools, condos, stores will need to have organics and recycling diversion programs in place. This will be a bit different for the curbside. This will be a bit different than the curbside program though, because solid waste collection for single family homes is provided by the RDN. For the properties included in this program, the service will be provided by your local waste hauler, whomever you choose to work with. The bylaw will come into place in January 2025, and everyone will have 6 months from the implementation of the bylaw to meet its requirements. So we're starting work now to help get people ready for this change and be successful with the new program. Why is mandatory waste source separation being introduced? So the RDN committed to a zero waste strategy for its long-term waste reduction target. Our focus is to reduce the amount of waste going to landfill by encouraging reduction, reuse, recycling, composting, and more. As part of that effort, the RDN has a target to reduce the amount of waste going to the landfill by 90%. To do this, we're using a few tools, including expanding our education programs and enforcement programs. We're also using new regulations like the mandatory waste source separation bylaw. So after our solid waste management plan was approved in 2020, we consulted on the draft mandatory waste source separation bylaw with affected stakeholders in 2021. We considered the feedback that we received and we updated the bylaw. And then we waited for the necessary approvals from the province. Those approvals have now been received. What mandatory waste source separation means for you. The mandatory waste source separation bylaw will require all waste generators. So that means all owners or occupiers of property where waste is generated to have separate or partitioned containers to separate garbage, recycling, and organics. Containers that don't offer separate labeled sections aren't allowed. Or waste generators in existing buildings can choose to contract a waste collector that's going to haul and sort their recyclables and organic material from their garbage. New buildings, on the other hand, will be required to separate garbage, recycling, and organics. So this bylaw applies to commercial, multifamily, industrial, and institutional facilities that are not serviced by municipal solid waste collection. Because it applies outside of municipal solid waste collection, it will be up to the waste generator to develop a plan for implementation at their building. And this is going to look different for each one. And maybe the most important thing about what this means for you is that the RDN is focused on education to encourage participation and compliance in this bylaw. However, if there is concern that properties are not participating, the bylaw can be enforced through inspection and investigation. Working with your waste hauler. So property owners and managers will have to coordinate with their waste collection service provider to make plans for collection and proper management of separate waste streams. They will likely inform how you separate waste at the source and will guide how staff, residents, clients, and customers are asked to participate in that program. The RDN is also introducing licenses for waste haulers. And that's going to make it more cost effective for collection companies to divert recycling and organics than it is to send it to landfill. This is intended to incentivize offering collection solutions for that separated waste. Costs are going to vary depending on the service that you choose. For example, multiple collection days will cost more, but because garbage will be reduced with organics and recycling removed, maybe a smaller or less frequent garbage collection will make sense for you in your building. Some waste haulers offer additional services as well, like bin cleaning or waste assessment to find areas for improvement. We really encourage you to contact your waste hauler soon to learn about their services and make plans for implementing this new collection program at your building. Now I'm going to talk a little more about the two diversion streams that will be required: composting and recycling. So why divert food waste? Well, almost half of the waste sent to landfill from condos and apartments and around 40% of waste from commercial sources can be composted. Most of that is food. Not only is it taking up unnecessary room at the landfill, but when it's landfilled, it also creates methane. Some methane is captured, but some is released to the environment and makes climate change worse. Commercial composting can accept all food, so fruits, veggies, dairy, bread, pasta, but it can also take meat and bones. It can also accept paper products like napkins and paper towels and newspapers, which actually makes paper a really great liner for your organic bins. The biggest no-no for composting is plastics. So the number of compostable plastic products has increased in recent years. But not all of those products can be fully broken down by commercial composting processes. When possible, use non-plastic alternatives like paper bin liners. If you are using compostable products, talk to your waste hauler about which products you can put in your food waste bin, and make sure you're only using products with a BPI logo or compostable logo on it. So recycling takes items that would have gone to the landfill and instead turns them into something new. This reduces our need to extract more raw materials. Recycling has also come a long way over the years, and there's a lot more that can be recycled today than even a few years ago. Recycling in your commercial, institutional, industrial, or multifamily building will be a lot like your recycling at home. There are many items that can go into your collection bin, and there are others that need to go to a depot. Talk to your hauler to learn what material they're able to include in your recycling collection pickup. Some tips and tricks. There are a number of companies that offer waste sorting stations depending on your needs, such as Grandin Toy, Canadian Tire, Bush Systems, Clean River, Clearstream Recycling System, and Gladson. Some offer discounts which are listed on our Get Involved page. There are also discounts listed there for certified compostable bags. So the focus is getting everyone participating. You can help. Share updates with staff, host a meeting, ask your waste hauler for signage. To succeed, everyone will have to be on board. We can help by hosting presentations for you as well. If you're unsure about how something should be sorted, check out the RDN Curbside app to find out what goes where. It's online as well at rdn.bc.ca/what goes where. And talk to your waste hauler. They are a wealth of information. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. I want to thank you for watching. I also want to finish with a reminder that achieving waste reduction goals can be helped by diversion, but the best way to reduce waste is to buy less. If we buy only what we need, focus on reducing packaging, buy secondhand, and other practices, we can stop waste from being created in the first place. As we approach the start of 2025, we'll continue to communicate about this change and we'll offer meetings and presentations as well as additional useful information on our webpage, getinvolved.rdn.ca/waste separation. Um, there is more information about the discount codes there as well, and some guides for different buildings and business categories that you're able to download. Um, you can also ask questions there to the project team, and we'll be able to reply to them for everyone else to see as well. And we thank you all for the effort to make this a success. We know that changing routines like this can be difficult, um, but your effort will make a difference. Thank you again, and have a great day.